Hello, and welcome to News. I'm your host, Barbara Streisand, here with today's top stories. The sound of scratching nails echoes from the basement. The smell of putrid flesh rises from somewhere within the walls. Out of the corner of your eye, a blur of fur dashes from the darkness from which it came. It's a rat. Benicians are no strangers to rats in their homes.
Yeah, like every year at least one rat gets into my air ducts. They like to make nests in there because it's so warm. Sometimes they get stuck and die. The smell of rotting flesh, eggs, and cabbage disseminates through the house for about 2 weeks or until my dad can get the corpse out. I've learned to handle that, but the patches of dead rat fur coming out from the vents is a bit much.
That was local Leoto Smith speaking on her experiences with the rats. But nowadays, we're faced with an even bigger issue. Recently, rats have begun to flood the streets of downtown Benicia. We asked several of the residents for their insight on the rat issue.
I live in a mansion, so I never expected to see a rat while sitting on the large concrete wall by the pier at the end of First Street and eating my expensive white Stilton Gold and pure cheese platter. I was just sitting there, and then a rat came up and politely asked me for a piece of cheese. A common rat asked me for some cheese. Does he even know who I am? I live in a mansion. Needless to say, totally ruined my wholesome, drug-free small town experience. First they're in the sewers, and now they're on the streets. They even have the audacity to be out during the day. They should stay in their place underground. If we don't set a line, where does it end? Where?
That was Guy Rich with his take. Here's a clip of Miss Eek's podcast Just Panic, where she talks about what she thinks of the rats.
Rats are ruining this country. It's an epidemic. They're everywhere trying to infiltrate our American homes and replace our American ideals. For all you know, there's a spy rat right under your feet at this very moment. I've heard that they even got into the White House. How dare they sully the most pristine building in America with their dirty paws?
Very interesting. Here's rat enthusiast Rhonda Ramey with a different point of view.
Look, is that really a problem? They're not really bothering us, and, well, I think they're cute. I even have 2 pet rats myself. Well, I used to have 2. Now I have 200. It's been a long week.
Now we know what we think about rats. But what do the rats think about us? Reporter Kate interviewed local rat hero Louie on the issue.
Hello, Louie. So what's your opinion? Do you think rats deserve to live in Benicia?
How dare thee doubt my right to this land? My brethren are native to this world, unlike thy heathens who migrated here over land bridges and on ships.
But many rats also migrated to America on those same ships, correct?
Thou fools!
That was all a coordinated attack,
a way of infiltrating thy culture and spreading our own influence so that we may become fundamental to thy way of life.
How so?
O thou art fools! What do thou think happened to thy scraps of food, the garbage left by thee to rot? If it were not for us, thou would have many more problems than you already have.
Well, thank you very much, Louie, for your terrific insight on the rat community. Back to you, Barbara.
Thank you, Kate. Some rats are even taking an active political stance. Earlier this month, young rat activist Miss Squeaks started her campaign against anti-rat rhetoric. Here's a quote from her now.
The Black Death was not our fault. The fleas are always trying to give us a bad rap, but many of us work hard to keep ourselves cleanly. Not all rats are the same. Clearly, the complexity of this issue should not be underestimated. But if rats and humans work to have a mutual understanding of each other, I believe we can bring about a better society for everyone. But hey, no matter what happens, there'll always be more garbage for us. Ha!
Later this year, she plans to put her paw in the mayoral race, so look out for her then. It's obvious that the human rat relationship is at the forefront of many's minds. But what do you think? Do rats deserve a place in our community, or should we simply kill them all? Tell us in the comments below. Up next, dogs unionize for better working conditions. In light of recent stay-at-home orders, dogs have decided to unionize to get better hours and more compensation. Under their demands, they list more belly rubs, more treats, and more regular walks. This story and more after the break.